This is the Jaffel Report.
Sometimes I think the only reason we kept doing daylight saving time was to give everyone something to argue about twice a year, without it turning into a Facebook flame war. You know the drill. One weekend in March, we all wander around asking each other, what time is it really? Like a nation of slightly bewildered owls. Then November rolls around and suddenly we're philosophers debating sunlight distribution, coffee intake, and moral virtue. All before breakfast. But here's the thing. This whole clock flipping tradition started out as a serious idea. The concept of saving daylight dates back to the early 1900s. As reported in National Geographic, a British builder named William Willett first proposed it after noticing people snoozing during summer sunlight. The German Empire actually put it into practice in 1916 during the First World War, hoping to conserve coal for the factories in the front lines. Canada wasn't far behind. Port Arthur, Ontario, now part of Thunder Bay, was the first city in the world to adopt the idea that same year, according to Library and Archives Canada. Back then, it made sense. The world ran on coal, candles, and elbow grease. Every saved hour of sunlight meant fewer resources burned and a little more energy for the war effort. Even farmers got pulled into the conversation, although, contrary to popular myth, most of them hated it. Cows don't care what time the government says it is. They eat when they're hungry, and they moo when they're ready. So when British Columbia finally said, that's enough, and decided to stop changing the clocks, I cheered out loud. According to CBC News, back in the early 2020s, it was Premier John Horgan who pushed the idea after a public consultation found 93% of British Columbians were done with the whole ritual. That's a higher approval rating than coffee on a cold ferry deck. Unfortunately, we had to wait for our southern neighbors in Washington, Oregon, and California to do the same. Otherwise, half the province would be calling Nanaimo at lunchtime and catching someone still eating breakfast. Now that we're staying put on what one Vancouver Sun columnist dubbed Pacific Time without the drama, I find myself strangely proud. We've broken free from one of the last surviving rituals of the industrial age, right up there with fax machines and gas-powered leaf blowers. The upsides? Consistency. More sleep for the kids, fewer cranky commuters honking at dawn, and, according to the Sleep Foundation, possibly fewer heart attacks and workplace injuries. The downsides? If everyone doesn't follow suit, we'll all spend eternity recalculating meeting times. Still, progress is progress. If you live in one of the usually affected areas of British Columbia, remember that this Saturday night, March 7th, before you go to sleep, be sure to set your clock ahead 1 hour, as in spring forward, for the very last time. It will stay there forever. I appreciate you taking 5 minutes with this old boomer. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and check out my merch coming soon. Who am I, you ask? Just another friendly observer. Call me Jaffo.
The JaffelReport.ca.
The Jaffel Report is downloadable from wherever you get your podcasts from. That's the JaffelReport.ca. Life can be overwhelming, and sometimes we all need a moment to recharge. I initially discovered guided meditation back in my 40s, but neglected it until my heart attack in my 60s. Eventually, I started recording my own guided meditations, and now I'd like to share them with the public. Whether you prefer a simple, soothing voice or a rich experience by adding music with ambient sounds, I've got you covered. The meditation sessions start at $4.20 each. The first 3 are free. Visit 420guidedmeditation.ca. That's the number 420guidedmeditation.ca. And start your journey to inner calm. Your path to peace is just a click away. This Canuck Boomer thanks you for your time, and we'll catch up with you again soon.